Hey folks, Kim Langer from Emerge Fitness, and today I'm going to take you through a really simple meal plan that is nutritious and it's going to give you some healthy veggie carbs without all of the flour carbs that are associated with pasta. And these are going to be boats. We're going to cut this in half, core out the middle a little bit, and then I'm going to make some great nutritious pasta sauce that we're going to layer in here and then sprinkle with some Parmesan cheese. So to get started, I'm going to get a pan going and start cooking the meat. But I was introduced to these things and they're called garlic scapes. And I'm actually just going to use them right now instead of the traditional garlic that you get minced, you know, in a jar, or a whole clove of garlic and you mince. I'm actually gonna use this garlic scape and just chop it up and put it in my sauce to heat through when I make the pasta. And you guys, it's gonna be so simple, right? I don't have all day to be in here cooking, although I would love to be, but I have other things that I'm doing. So I'm gonna show you how simple this is. And this is something that you can make ahead of time, absolutely, 100%. You know, get it ready to go maybe the day before, right? And then just heat it up the day of. Or you can have all your ingredients, like the pasta sauce, marinara, meat sauce, whatever, ready to go. And then you just put the boats together and put it in the oven. So, whew, this is garlicky. It smells very garlicky. So that is it. Seriously, I'm just playing around with this because this is something that a new little find. And I thought, hey, this will be really cool to give it a try. So I'm gonna take it over here and show you how I'm going to make the pasta sauce that's going to go in our squash boats. Okay, so now we just have the garlic scapes heating, right? And it's just making the oil fragrant. And now I have a pound of ground turkey, and I'm just gonna add that into this. Man, I tell you, the garlic scape smells so yummy. So right now I'm just cooking it all down, mashing it up so I get small pieces. And once this starts to cook through, I'm gonna add my other ingredients, and that will make it a pasta sauce. All right, guys, so now that this is cooked through the meat, I'm gonna start adding more ingredients. And this is a great tea, okay? I'm just gonna get a jar of pasta sauce and add to this. So here's the deal, nothing wrong with this. What you wanna look at is at the ingredient label and make sure there's nothing wonky in it, no ingredients that you can't read. So this has Italian whole peeled tomatoes, olive oil, onions, basil, salt, garlic, black pepper, and oregano. Perfect, so we're gonna go ahead and add this. It can't get much easier than this, guys. It really can't. Now, to make it a little bit more homey tasting, I like to add my own spices and then cook this down. So, stir all this together. So I like to add more. So I'm gonna just add some oregano. And again, you can spice it up however you want. That's about a teaspoon of oregano. I'm gonna put a little bit of onion powder in it. So about a half a teaspoon of onion powder. I'm gonna add Italian seasoning, about a teaspoon. Oh, and I'm gonna pop it right in there. And then I'm gonna add a bay leaf. And then I'm just gonna let this cook and simmer while I get the other things ready for the dinner. So while this is simmering, I have a pot of corn back here, 3 ears of corn. That is a great starchy carb. Nothing wrong with that. It is a veggie, but it is a starch. So by eliminating the starch from the pasta noodles, I can have it in the way of a vegetable. And I'm gonna add a bay leaf to that. Okay. And I'm just going to turn that down to simmer and let it cook away while I go on to the next thing. The boats that are going to house the squash or the spaghetti sauce that we just made. So I picked up these nice, big, beautiful zucchini squash at the farmer's market yesterday. And I'm just gonna hollow out the inside. And I'm gonna take these extra pieces so that I'm not wasting them, and I will chop them up and put them into the sauce. But right now I'm just gonna scoop out the middle. Just like that. So the squash has already been cleaned. Absolutely fine to eat this, to eat the skin. I am going to season it with olive oil, salt, and pepper, and then bake it for a little bit so that it softens up so that we can load it into the oven, load it with the pasta sauce, and then put it into the oven. So I'm gonna keep going on that, and then I will show you what it looks like when we start to load it up. All right, so here are the different squash. You see I have one is green, the other one yellow, doesn't matter, they're summer squash. These are a non-starchy carbohydrate that perfect for vegetables, for keeping your carbohydrates at bay, right? And this is particularly important for people who have high sensitivity to carbs, for anybody who is pre-diabetic or diabetic. There's nothing wrong with carbs, these are carbs, but it's a matter of getting the good kinds in, right? So I just drizzled it with a little bit of olive oil. I'm just putting some salt on each one. And I'm gonna generously pepper these, and I'm gonna pop them in the oven for about 10 minutes until they're softened, because remember, we're gonna eat this part of the boat. This is the part of the boat that we're gonna eat. You can even add Parmesan cheese to that and to make it a little flavorful right here, but I'm gonna add some Parmesan on top. So I'm gonna put this in the oven and then bake it for about 10, 15 minutes until it's soft. All right guys, so I have you back over here, and this is my sauce. It's reduced down. I added the parts of the squash that I took out from the boat so I could make the squash boats. And I'm gonna stir it around, and while the squash is in the oven, right, cooking the boats for another 10 minutes, I'm gonna turn up the heat just a little bit more and let the squash cook inside the sauce. Part begins. So we're going to start to assemble the boats. This is the pasta sauce. I'm going to give it a taste, because we have to taste, right? Make sure it tastes good, and make sure we don't need any other seasonings. So make sure I get a piece of squash. Ooh, hot. Looks good. And here are the zucchini boats, right? So they're all hollowed out, they're soft, they're seasoned, and I'm just gonna start scooping this stuff right inside of the boats. I think the hardest part isn't making the stuff, it's having a plan, right? That's really what you need. You just need a plan. And most people fail on their healthy lifestyle because they don't make a plan and they end up just grabbing food on the go, right? Or they skip meals, then they overeat, and then they're just grabbing whatever they can get their hands on. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So I made sure when I was at the market that I picked some really big squash so that I can load them up. Because sometimes you can get them real small and you can't load them up with as much meat and sauce. And remember, it's all about the protein in here, right? All about the protein. Now I'm just making a mess. Now I'm just making a mess. So, I'm seriously making a mess. So we had about a pound of ground turkey, right? I added a jar of pasta sauce, right? Make sure that it was a good one, didn't have any wonky crap in it, right? No additives, no hazardous toxins. I added my own spices. We have the zucchinis that I bought at the farm market. I hollowed them out. I took the insides from the squash and chopped it up and put it into the sauce to give it more veggies. I cooked the zucchini to soften it up. Now we're making the boats, and we're going to add the top. Let me clean up my mess here. All right, so here's a couple of fun things that you can do. One, just have Parmesan cheese. I do not get the already grated Parmesan cheese. I get a block and grate it myself. A lot of times the cheese that's sold in blocks, to keep it from sticking, it has some materials in there, kind of like a powdery substance, and it's just not good for you. You don't need it in your body. So I just grate my own. So that's one thing. Now the second fun thing is I do have mini mozzarella balls. So I like to get these, I can grab them, I can grab some out. Like maybe when I'm doing a tomato salad, caprese salad, and I like to put these in. So I'm just gonna add a couple of these on each one. You could also get a piece of mozzarella cheese and put it on each one, but I don't want all that fat, because remember, cheese is a fat, it's not a protein. It is dairy, could be inflammatory to some people in their bodies. We'll go for, that one has extra. All right, grab my pot holder. So that's what it looks like. So here they go. We're gonna add them, put them into the oven for about, I don't know, 5 minutes, just until the cheese melts a little bit, and we will serve it up. So I'm just going to plate it up, and I'm gonna pair this with a nice salad and some corn, right? So corn is a starchy carb, so we're gonna have our starches in the form of a vegetable, right? We have some nice healthy greens right here, and the pasta boats. Don't they look yummy? They are so good. So good, so simple. So give this a try.